Please, 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 I would love this. This would change my life. This would be fantastic. I don't mean to sound too needy, but yeah, I'd really like to be in the Wall Street Journal. Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to Cerealsly, where we take cereals seriously. My name is Alex, and the first car I ever got to call my own was a hand-me-down from my parents when I was 17. It was a beautiful 86 Chevy Celebrity. And if you laid down on the ground and looked up at it at exactly the right angle, it looked like a DeLorean. I swear it did. Now, when I received this car, it was already in pretty rough shape, but I drove it for years as the parts literally dropped off of it and it became barely more than a shell. Still, I loved that car. In the final years of its lifespan, it started doing this odd thing where when I would turn the key to start it, instead of starting it would go boing, boing. Then, turning it would start it on the third or fourth try. It was really a nuisance. It made it really difficult, most of all, to sneak out of my parents' house to see my girlfriend after curfew, because it would go pow, pow, and wake up the entire neighborhood. Listen, if you've ever had a car that made a crazy noise and foiled some of your teenage shenanigans, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Today on Cerealsly, we're revisiting a topic from an episode of the distant past. Yes, the very first episode, the premiere episode of Cerealsly. In fact, that episode just recently became the first episode on this channel to pass the 1,000 views mark. And it was actually my dad who was that thousandth viewer. Thousandth viewer. My dad came out to visit our family in Southern California a few weeks ago, and we went to a Dodger game together, and it was at Dodger Stadium that I realized that episode 1 had 999 views. So he's a great dad. He got out his phone, and he let that first episode run while we watched the game. The little counter clicked up, and I had done it. Cerealsly was part of the Millenopsy Club, which is a word I just made up, meaning 1,000 views. Now, to celebrate that milestone, we are going to return to the fascinating subject of episode 1 for further exploration. Today, we are looking at even more new variations of the General Mills Minis. In the original wave, General Mills launched 3 cereals: Mini Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Mini Reese's Puffs, and Mini Trix. Now, each of those cereals were mini sphere versions of their original counterparts. And one of my observations in that first episode was that it was a little odd that General Mills would include Cinnamon Toast Crunch in that original lineup, since it didn't start round. At the time, I wondered why they hadn't gone with other General Mills round cereals. Even off the top of my head, they have other options. General Mills is sitting on Cocoa Puffs, round, and Kix, they're round. Well, it turns out I was right on with that thought, well, at least half of it, because today we're looking at Series 2 of the General Mills mini line, and it does, in fact, include Cocoa Puff Minis. But then, thanks to the barrier-breaking Cinnamon Toast Crunch Minis, which proved that things don't have to start spherical to go mini, General Mills has added another outside-of-the-shape entry for Series 2, Lucky Charms Minis. Just like their forebears in Series 1, these 2 new mini cereals are banking on being tastes that we all love, and we just want more of them in our bowl. Before we get to actually looking at the cereal, let me tell you a sad story, a little bit of sad extra folklore today, mostly just because I need you to commiserate with me. When I began the Cerealsly channel, the Cerealsly journey, I also set up an email address, cerealslycontact@gmail.com, where I hoped that anyone who wanted to get in contact with me would through that email address. It's posted on the channel in the info section or the about section or something. I don't even know where it is. Anyway, right after setting it up, I forgot about it. And it wasn't until maybe 8 or 9 weeks later that it dawned on me that I had set this thing up. I should go back and read it. When I checked that email address, there was one email in there that had been sent right after episode 1 had launched. The email that I was 8 or 9 weeks late to reading was from a reporter at the Wall Street Journal. And this wonderful person was reaching out to me, little old me, to ask if I wanted to contribute to an article about the trend of things going mini in our culture. Don't forget, I saw this email 8 or 9 weeks after it was sent. Of course, when I saw it, I immediately shot off a reply like, please, 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 I would love this. This would change my life. This would be fantastic. I don't mean to sound too needy, but yeah, I'd really like to be in the Wall Street Journal. But unfortunately, they didn't even need to reply because you can go look it up for yourself. I'll put a link in the description to the article that was published long before I had even seen the email and does not feature, of course, a single mention of Cerealsly because I am a stupid idiot who set up an email address. A wonderfully kind person contacted me, and I was that late. Isn't that the Cerealsly way? Isn't this the ultimate story of who we are as a channel? We don't need success. We just need to be exactly this. I want to thank you for watching Cerealsly, for being part of this very small family, but it really means a lot to me. And if you are from the Wall Street Journal or any other publication of note, I will definitely do a better job of checking my email in the future. All right, let's take a look at the two cereals for today. First, let me get it out. We have Cocoa Puffs Minis. As I mentioned, these make so much sense. It was basically just an inevitability that they would at some point exist. Cocoa Puffs have been a staple of the cereal aisle since they were invented 1956. They're famous for using real cocoa and, of course, featuring one of the most recognizable mascots in the world, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird. Sonny was featured in countless commercials that aired during Saturday morning cartoons that would see him trying to do some sort of task, but invariably being reminded of some little facet of what Cocoa Puffs were about, at which point he'd go bonkers and scream his famous line, "I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs." That was an impression, that was just me being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That phrase has actually become part of our American vernacular. If someone's acting off the wall, you could say, hey, she's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Now, I didn't realize this, but Cocoa Puffs are branded internationally as Nestle Quick cereal. I have a box of those from Canada somewhere around here. Now, they might be slightly different because of international manufacturing differences, but they are intended to be the same product, just under different names. That's amazing to me. But then we have our second cereal, which I have been dreaming about since I heard that it might exist. Lucky Charms Minis. Of course, Lucky the Leprechaun has been an equally famous cereal mascot since he was introduced, along with the cereal. That was 1964. Lucky Charms was the first ever cereal to feature marshmallows, which were originally introduced internally by using circus peanuts. The specific formulation of what is now called Marbits was patented 1968 and has remained a cereal staple for decades. And actually, that's the element of this new cereal that I'm most excited about. I can't wait to see how they've translated both the cereal, yes, but also the Marbits into this new mini shape. But remember, these cereals aren't intended to pull us away from the classic cereals we love. They're supposed to multiply that love. We proved in episode 1 in a very scientific way that far more of these mini cereals can fit into a bowl than their normal size counterpart, meaning you're experiencing even more of your favorite cereals in every sitting. General Mills has made it possible, using a shrink ray, I assume, I don't know how they do it, to get more enjoyment into every bowl. What do you think? Will these continue the cultural trend of trying to improve life by shrinking it down to a manageable size? Would the world be a better place if we were all a little more tiny, a little less puffed up? Will these two capture the classic essence of their more rotund siblings? Friends, it's time to eat some cereal. All right, everybody, I am ready to go. I've got my bowls that I'm going to need. I got my spoon. I got my skim milk. We're going to say a prayer like Skim Tebow today. Is that a person people remember? Let's give these things a try. I think I'm so excited for the Lucky Charms minis that I actually want to start with the Cocoa Puff minis because you know what I assume? They're going to taste like Cocoa Puffs. And that might be a great thing because Cocoa Puffs could use more of themselves in the bowl. I already said that, but there's going to be more of them in the bowl. What a beautiful bag. Thank you so, oh wow. I said it before I opened it, but it was true. General Mills really, really knows how to make their boxes and bags. Wow. These are the cutest. I said it in the first episode. These really are like Dippin' Dots cereal. These are really like Dippin' Dots that you can have for breakfast. These look incredible. They look just what you want them to look like. Little pebbles. Now, I will say, because they are Cocoa Puffs, I will say these look most like food for a pet that I've seen in a while. I haven't had a pet in my own life for a very long time, since I was a kid, but that's definitely what they remind me of, like a dry dog or cat food. Let's put some milk on it. Let's try it dry. Again, you know what it's going to taste like? Cocoa Puffs. Let's try it, though, and see if that's true. Yummy. Again, I don't know if they still do this, but it was, for a long time, made with real cocoa. I don't know how they would even say. They wouldn't say real cocoa, right? They would just say cocoa. And it certainly does say here, cocoa. So let's put some milk on it. I can tell you, this bowl is way more fun than a bowl of regular Cocoa Puffs. I don't know what it is. The mininess of it is more fun. They're escaping. They're jumping out. I'm having a good time. Let's try these things and see what we think. It's a surface area thing. More of these hit your tongue and like form around your tongue, so you taste them more. So it's actually like Cocoa Puffs Plus. There really is like an upgrade to how much you're experiencing when you eat it. I think this is a genius line of cereals. I hope it lasts for a long time. If I was going to buy Cocoa Puffs, I would instead buy Cocoa Puffs Minis, so that I could have an even better experience. Yummy. These are great. I'm so happy for this. Well, I could eat these all day, but let's put these aside. They're definitely making the milk chocolatey. I can see them from afar. So if you enjoy that, you have some chocolate milk at the end. That is so great. I would assume even chocolatier milk, because they have more. Is that true? Some mathematician will have to tell us. Do they have more surface area? I think they do. Because you would just have one sphere of surface area, where these are so many little spheres, they must have more surface area. That means that there's more chocolate coating. That means that there's more chocolate coating to get into the milk. That probably means that there would be more chocolatiness in your milk. And that's great. This is just better. Now we come to the wild card. Lucky Charms. We'll see what they did. Let's try it. All right, we've got the standard beautiful box. Beautiful bag. Looking inside, I can see the micro marshmallows, Marbits. Oh, wow. I mean, they just look adorable. For some reason, because seeing them all at one place like this, the cereal itself seems so yellow. I don't know if that's just my eyeballs and this lighting, but that's definitely the thing that's coming out. But let me see if I can find it. I know I'm digging around in this. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to reuse my chocolate spoon. I know not everyone's a fan of that, but I'm going to dig around in here to see if I can find. Yeah, look at this. Look at this little mini rainbow that they have in here. That is so cute. Oh man, mini clovers, mini, I don't know what else this stuff is, balloons and moons, and wow, this is great. A heart is in here, and they're just tiny. Now they're not round. I thought maybe they would have just made all the Marbits the exact same size and shape as the spheres of cereal. Boy, when I said these are like Dippin' Dots cereals, this is the most Dippin' Dots of them all. This is so fun. Even without tasting it, it's fun. Let me say this, though. I can tell that this cereal is not actually made of the same stuff as Lucky Charms cereal. Instead of, I don't know, oats, this looks like it's made out of corn. And that means it's going to be more like a Kix than it will be like Lucky Charms cereal. But nobody likes Lucky Charms cereal parts as much as the marshmallows, so maybe that won't matter. Maybe it will still distinctly taste like Lucky Charms. Let's see. I didn't taste it dry just because I want to get right into this to see what we think about it. Let's try it. Man, I'm loving these colors, these little tiny shapes. They are so cute. Interesting. I was totally right. The grain change makes a huge difference, and not in a good way. These are actually, of all the minis we've tried so far, the least reminiscent of their big counterparts, their regular size counterparts. The marshmallows themselves are so small, they're hard to taste, and the cereal being a different grain and a different size is barely reminiscent of Lucky Charms. This might be the first miss in the General Mills mini line. Let me go again. Overall, it's edible, it's fine, but it's not very good. It's a big downgrade from the original cereals. You remember I was raving my head off about how great Cocoa Puff minis were. I would buy them above the normal. There were a lot of those similarities in the first episode. Oh no. Well, you know what? This is very humanizing of General Mills. They're on a streak. They need a little humility in their lives. Listen, this Lucky Charms mini thing doesn't work. It doesn't taste like Lucky Charms. In fact, let me go so far as to say it tastes like a knockoff of Lucky Charms. It tastes like another local grocery chain trying to make a Lucky Charms like, and it didn't succeed. Honestly, if you had me blindfolded and tasted these, I don't even know if I would have guessed that they're meant to be Lucky Charms because the marshmallows being so small barely register. I'm going to give it one more try. Nope, I don't like it. That's really surprising to me. I am really happy for cereal companies who are doing innovative, just for fun things. I can tell you, this looks adorably sweet. It looks so cute and fun and lively. It just doesn't live up to what we all know Lucky Charms should be like. I don't know if that would mean doing something different with the marshmallow size so that they register more. It certainly means going back to the drawing board, trying to figure out if you can get the oat or whatever it is, other grain flavor into the cereal, not just the flavor. You probably need to stick with that. I wonder if it's too crumbly to be at this size. I wonder if their manufacturing processes just don't allow it. It needed to match the others in its cereal base. But because it's so naked, because that's so visibly what the cereal part is, it's just not cutting it in this one. As far as ratings go, I would give this one a 4 out of 5. It's so fun. Again, if you like Cocoa Puffs, you will love this. At least worth having one box of it to just enjoy the cuteness that is it. Lucky Charms minis, the other end of the spectrum, I'd give it a 1. Not worth buying, not worth trying. The happiness you saw in me was so fleeting just because based on looks, it looked exciting, and then it flopped in every other way that would make it Lucky Charms. Hey, listen, General Mills, be true to yourself. Don't mess around with things that people love and not hit the mark to remind us of what the original thing is. You can do better. To give General Mills advice. You are incredible people working at General Mills. Keep up the good work. This one, though, just wasn't as great as I know you're capable of. Well, friends, we have done it all. We talked, we ate, we had tiny little dots of cereal fly all over the place, and now it's enough. Remember, we gave these cereals a 4 for the Cocoa Puff cereal. You will love this one, but only a 1. What a surprise. Heartbreaking for Lucky Charms minis. It's not worth it. They should try again on this one. If you want to try today's cereals for yourself, they're out now at most major grocery stores, hopefully one near you. And if you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. It's fun every week. And leave a comment with what cereal we should look at together in a future episode. Until then, never be soggy, my friends. Bye-bye.